Welcome to Practice Sessions, an introduction to militant sound research. UltraRed have designed this three-part series for organizers, cultural workers, and community members interested in political and collective listening. In Part 1, we discuss the steps in organizing a research team. The presentation concludes with an appendix containing additional information on the principles and ideas behind militant sound research. If you are watching with others, we invite you to pause after each video to discuss the propositions and problems it raises. The accompanying PDF manual provides additional reference information for these discussions. A sound investigation requires multiple cycles of inquiry that extend over weeks or even years. The process can be used to constitute or expand a collective, or an existing collective may decide to engage in a sound investigation in order to deepen its work or investigate new concerns. The preparations for the investigation begin with the issuing of an invitation that identifies who is invited, why the investigation is being initiated, and the goals of the investigation. When a critical number of those invited commit to undertaking a multi-stage inquiry, the investigative team is formed. In UltraRed's experience, research teams with 3 to 16 members make it possible for everyone to be actively involved in the inquiry. The research team's shared commitment to a constituency and struggle makes it possible to identify a sound research process as a militant sound investigation. Therefore, before embarking on an investigation, all team members must know how the investigation will be conducted and why. Take the time to become acquainted with the collective listening process. Use simple listening exercises, such as undertaking sound walks in places that have meaning for the collective. Another exercise could involve listening together to oral history interviews or other archival sound recordings.
I have to say to myself, I am happy that I became a mother.
We were always friends, but then we became a family, and they became my family.
I don't feel like I was honestly teaching anybody.
Collective listening is not an end in itself. Rather, it is a tool among other tools available for the long haul of struggle. Sustained collective listening and dialogue occurs in the context of community struggle. This context conditions the investigation and associated listening practices. Thus, the team selects a question that initiates this concrete practice of listening in community. The question guides us to listen for what it is about our world we want to keep, what we don't want, and what we want but do not have. For example, neighbors fighting for affordable quality housing may ask, what is the sound of housing for all? Another community may ask, what is the sound of anti-racism? Or what is the sound of democracy? The question does not hold the team to finding an answer. Rather, the question helps the team act into thinking that is grounded in a sustained investigation of the conditions of the community. For 20 years, UltraRed members have undertaken militant sound investigations alongside and within political communities. We have long-term commitments to specific constituencies and political struggles where we live. Those long-term communities and movements where we have conducted sustained investigations include, beginning in 1994, the AIDS activist movement in Los Angeles and across North America. In 1997, we began a shared investigation with the community members of Unión de Vecinos, or United Neighbors, based in East Los Angeles. Following a number of encounters in Frankfurt and Berlin, our membership expanded in 2001 to include social researchers and educators embedded in the struggles of migration and anti-racism in Germany. Beginning in 2007, UltraRed members launched long-term inquiries in the UK with social justice groups in the Southwest, London, and Dundee. Then in 2009, UltraRed members built on decades of organizing in New York's house and ballroom scene to commence an inquiry into the collective struggle for racial, gender, and economic justice. In other locations, we share methods with local community groups. UltraRed present these practices as a modest contribution to the widespread field of militant inquiry.